Good morning, how everyone doing? I'm sorry, good evening, how everyone doing today? God is good and God is good all the time. My name is Irma Jess Bridges Divine. I'm here to give you a little shout news on today. Um, First we're gonna start with the Apple chaos at the Apple. So that's all we hear about the Apple lately. So the Apple chaos is the worst they ever seen. This is my first time hearing about all this Apple this year. You know, all the years we never heard this much chaos. So ever seen in 30 years. Now just a pilot talking. So he being a pilot line or out George, and we can't restrain pilot fast enough. Because you remember when the pandemic first had COVID first started, a lot of pilot uh was had took leaves after, and most of them never came back. Most of them retired. So it's kind of like short of pilots right now. His name is Patrick Smith. He was born on 767. So when it went in the United States, into Europe, South America, and Africa, so he said the traveling chaos this summer had been the worst he's seen in 30 years flying. And that's what I'm saying. And we ain't never heard of this much chaos at the airport. He said this is his pilot ivory. This is his ivory. You know, of the disruption as told to Claire turnaround. Now there's a certain level of chaos at every airport right now. So it's not just here. It's everywhere they have chaos. But it's all on different level. He said. So they have a little something going on at all pretty much most of the airport. You know, uh, so very few pilots was laid off. Like I was saying, it started with the corporate. A lot of them was laid off. Many airlines, resigned. Now some are resigned. You know, but many airlines resigned, and their pilot put them on no flying status. So some of them had came back, but some of them was put on no flying status. So and many pilots retired. Early now they are all restraining to match the demands. Because most of them did came back. They're trying to match up the demands. Because they never known this much chaos at the airport. So so if you are coming back, y'all have to try to keep up. You have to try to keep up with the demands of what's going on at the airport. So there are chaos at the airport. Flight delay, cancel flight. But they said to all travelers. All that is going on, but they say for all the travelers to be patient and don't expect things to run smoothly. So we see there's chaos at most of the airport. But they all on different level. Long delay. Cancel flight. But they say be patient. Say be patient. Things is not gonna run smoothly. But in due time, I hope all get better soon. So all, also lost luggage. So we never had this kind of chaos in a long period of time. So we thought it was gonna be in a die down, but it haven't. So hire more staff, and train in a way everyone, have everything on tap. So where everyone will be placed in order. Everything is about order. So it's all about order. Try to control. Long delay. So I know sometimes you can't control the delay and cancel flight. But there should still be a place of keeping things on track. So lost luggage, you know, it should be in order. So they should make sure they put all the tags on it, and make sure they place it where it should be. So it seemed like everything is out of whack and out of order, so if they kind of put things in order and try to hire more staff and have training properly, maybe everything will start getting back on track. Remember, customers are paying good money to fly, and they also have expensive stuff in their luggage, to fly, and they expect for their luggage to be safe. So I just hope in due time that everything just start getting back on track, because um, everyone is paying so much money to get on to fly from here and there. Expensive luggage, expensive stuff that they may have in their luggage, to have this kind of chaos. But I hope in due time, yeah, place everything in order, and so everything can get back on track, and start hiring people and train them in a proper way so things can start getting back on track. So that was the pilot was speaking on the chaos. But you have an incident that happened at um, Baggers Hannah Airport here. So Baggers Hannah at Armstrong Airport in New Orleans was killed in an accident. So the Hannah, the bag handler she was 26 years old. A woman allegedly got her hair stuck in a belt loader, in Kenner. You know, so the bag of Hannah she had died. And her name was Jeremiah Thompson. So Armstrong at Armstrong International Airport in New Orleans, Louisiana. So Miss Thompson was unloading the baggage, from the Fondant Airline flight when the incident occurred. Shortly after 10:30 p.m. Miss Thomas was taken to the National Medical Center in Kenner, where she later on died from the injuries. So among the chaos, to have an incident to happen. So we don't want to hear, about someone, getting killed during their job. So I'm sorry to hear on this tragic news, the loss of Jeremiah Thomas, at St. Louis Armstrong, New Orleans International Airport. So I give my condolences to her family and friends, and I will keep the family in prayer. So we just talked about the pilot. We're talking about he been blind for like 30 years, and just the first that we ever had so much chaos on a long period of time. We understand that things will not run smoothly all the time. We know things gonna come up. We know you're gonna have delay. We know you're gonna have cancel flight. But this been going on for a long period of time. Lost luggage and stuff. So everything should be starting. I hope that everything start be put place in order. Place in order. You have to think about the customers. So we have to try to train the staff. So everything can get back on track. Your shoulders on staff. You need to hire more staff and make sure they get fully trained. Because this is the first we all ever hear this chaos for a long period of time. We know you're gonna have oops and downs, bumpy road. We know you're gonna have delay, cancel flights. But this chaos been going on for a long period of time. And and also, you have to think about the customers that paying so much money to fly. Paying so much money for their luggage and what's inside of their luggage. So we have to be careful and have to be more um, careful and taking care of other people's stuff. We have to take care of other people's needs. Have to think about the long wait that they will have to wait. Some people have a meeting to go to. Some people had a plane this trip for like 6 or 7 months ahead of time and get there and have flight delay, or they have a canceled flight. So I hope y'all get it. I hope everything start getting back on track. Because everything is placed in order. We have a God that's very organized. He created this whole world, and everything was placed in order. So we have to try to be in order, because we have to remember our Heavenly Father is a very organized person. So we have to and you have to think about the customers who's spending the money to fly, out to pilot. He's been flying for 30 years and seeing all this chaos like this here. So many people is speaking up on it. So I hope y'all start getting everything back on track. You know, um, and so we just talk about the tragedy that happened at the airport. So sorry to hear that someone died, trying to do their job. So I hate to hear stuff like that. You know, um, and I will keep the family in prayer. So I'm just lost of words right now. Lost of words. So everyone else, bag of handle. Be careful on your job site. Be careful with the belt. I'm just making saying advice. You know, try not to have a ponytail, or try not to have your hair hanging. Allegedly, just said her hair got hooked in the belt. So anybody else is still at work in the back of the plane, make sure you pin your hair up. Make sure you have some kind of style where your hair is not hanging and no ponytail. Because I don't want, I'm sorry to hear something like this, and I don't want to hear that no one else get killed, be on a job site. So try to pin your hair up. You know, try not to wear a watch. I used to do warehouse, so I know how it is and what you were supposed to wear and what you're not supposed to wear when you're working by a machine. You're not supposed to wear a watch, no kind of jewelry on your wrist, no long ponytail. So I just wish y'all explain these do's and don'ts to the employees that working by these belts. I used to work in a warehouse, so explain to them the do's and don'ts of how to wear their hair in the jewelry. All that can get stuck in the belt. So I hope everyone else be careful. Be careful and try to follow these advice that I give. Because I used to work in a warehouse my own self. You know, and saw the incident happen, but no one had died. So I know these things can occur if you don't be careful. So that's all the short news I have for y'all today. And y'all have a blessed day, and I'll see y'all in the next video.